Shamed Huw Edwards has dodged an immediate prison sentence for having child abuse images on his phone. The News at 10 presenter, 63, was handed a 6-month sentence, suspended for 2, by Chief Magistrate Paul Goldspring during a hearing at Westminster Magistrates Court today. Edwards sat forward with his hands together, pressed against his lips as Mr Goldspring told him, "The impact of child sexual abuse can be severe and lifelong." Goldspring told Edwards his reputation is in tatters while starting his sentencing remarks. Mr. Goldspring said, "Perhaps it does not need saying that you are of previous good character, having enjoyed a very successful career in the media. You were highly regarded for your dedication and professionalism, perhaps the most recognized journalist in the UK. Your reputation is in tatters." Mr. Goldspring said, "I accept that your mental health at the relevant time, and you had no memory of viewing any particular image and do not know whether you did. You did not store the images, you did not keep them, and you did not distribute them." In a psychological assessment, experts said he was destabilized, and a social media presence allowed him to interact with people who he would not normally have access to. He had fragile self-esteem, creating a perfect storm where he indulged in sexual infidelities. The authorities added he would be particularly vulnerable in the prison population and had a considerable risk of harm by others, and his suicide risk would be high. They said he does not pose a risk to people under the age of 18 and had shown insight, shame, and remorse. Goldspring also declined to make Edwards the subject of a sexual harm prevention order. He said he did not pose a risk to the public, but stated he would be on the sexual offenders register for 7 years. After Edwards was sentenced, Claire Brinton of the Crown Prosecution Service said, "Accessing indecent images of children perpetuates the sexual exploitation of them, which has deep, long-lasting trauma for these victims." The CPS and Metropolitan Police were able to prove that Edwards was receiving illegal images and videos involving children via WhatsApp. This prosecution sends a clear message that the CPS, working alongside the police, will work to bring to justice those who seek to exploit children, wherever that abuse takes place. Walking out of court, Edwards didn't say a word as he pulled a small suitcase along before being driven away in a Mercedes. Edwards arrived at Westminster Magistrates Court earlier in the day carrying a suitcase. He arrived by black cab and stared directly at reporters and photographers as he entered the building. He wore a dark blue cardigan and an open-neck shirt and was flanked by his legal team. The disgraced TV star appeared in court after admitting to having 41 indecent pictures of children. The father of 5, 62, pleaded guilty to 3 counts of making indecent images of children on July 31. The disgraced BBC presenter looked downcast as he arrived at court to be given his sentence after first being arrested in November 2023. Westminster Magistrates Court heard that Edwards was involved in an online chat with convicted pedophile Alex Williams on WhatsApp between December 2020 and August 2021, who sent him 377 sexual images, of which 41 were indecent images of children. The court heard that the 63-year-old sent money for the sickening images. Opening the case at the court, prosecutor Ian Hope said, "It is clear from the face of the WhatsApp chat recovered that a deal of the chat between Alex Williams and Miss Edwards was sexual in nature. It is also clear that Miss Edwards was paying not insignificant sums of money, low hundreds of pounds on an occasional basis, to Alex Williams, which Miss Williams directly asked for on several occasions, as gifts or presents, apparently off the back of sending abusive images to Miss Edwards, about which images they chatted. Alex Williams has stated that the money was more generally to support him at university and amounted to around £1,000 to £1,500. The bulk of the images were sexual images featuring younger-looking adult males and therefore lawful. However, a significant minority proportion of the images recovered were IIOC. From the WhatsApp chat recovered, a total of around 377 sexual images were sent to Miss Edwards, of which 41 comprised IIOC, just over 10%. Alex Williams asked for a Christmas gift after all the hot videos from Huw Edwards, the court heard. The court heard a new link contained a Category C image of a child aged around 12 to 14 and a category at image. 3/4 of an hour later, Alex Williams again asks for a Christmas gift after all the hot videos, and Miss Edwards immediately responds, "What do you need?" The prosecutor continued. Alex Williams says he wants some Air Force One trainers that cost around £100, and Miss Edwards offers to send him £200.